We're going to cover chapter 7. And this is Shadows and Tall Trees. So we know that there's been a message from the adult world, and that is a dead parachutist has come down on the island. He's trapped in the tree. And as you see last week in the slides that I did, when the wind blows, his arms go up, and then it comes down as the wind dies. And Sam and Eric, the twins, have run down in the last chapter and told everyone there's a beast. And we know that the hunters and Jack and Ralph went and looked for it, and they found that kind of rock fort at the other end of the island. And I showed all of those slides last week. So they're coming back from that expedition in a roundabout way. So some things that I'm going to point out, I'm going to write down here at the bottom of the screen. Just some things like Ralph realizes the boys are slipping from their clean, presentable selves, and they're slowly becoming okay with that. And that started with the chapter, long hair, growing, etc. They're dirty. So I highlighted this right here, where he, being Ralph, discovered with a little fall of the heart that these were the conditions he took as normal now, and that he did not mind. So we're given this foreshadowing, or this hint, that very slowly, in a physical sense, they're slipping a little bit more and more. They're not that clean-cut boy. But what you should be aware of is, on a psychological level, there's another parallel, that they're also becoming less clean-cut, less strict, and less stringent psychologically based on what they would do. A next highlight that I got here, Ralph realizes how vast the ocean is and how unlikely that they will be found. So as Simon is standing there and they're taking a break, eating fruit on the other side of the island, swathed at midday with the mirage, defended by the shield of the quiet lagoon, one might dream of rescue. But here, faced by the brute obtuseness, which means just huge, of the ocean, the miles of division, one was clamped down, one was helpless, one was condemned, and one was... So, and Simon is watching Ralph look out at the ocean. Obviously, Ralph is contemplating something big. And Simon, who's very intuitive, almost clairvoyant, says to Ralph, without Ralph saying anything, "You'll get back to where you come from," Simon says to him. And Ralph looks at him puzzled, like, what do you mean? And Simon just, all the same, "You're going to get back," almost like prophet-like. And Ralph says, "You're batty." And Simon says, no, I'm not. I just know you're going to get back all right. Okay, so Jack convinces Ralph, listen, we need some meat. We're here anyway. Can we just go hunting? And so Ralph agrees. He is trying to get them back so that they can light the signal fire, because that's his priority. But Jack's like, can we sneak in a little bit of hunting? And so they do. So the hunt starts, and Ralph is participating for the first time in this. Now, remember, he hasn't done this before. It's been Jack on his own. It's been Jack with the other boys. So this chapter is important because Ralph is going to experience this frenzy and excitement that comes from the hunt. So boys flung themselves wildly from the pig trap and scrambled in the creepers, screaming. So Ralph is all experiencing this for the first time. And he throws a spear at a boar running straight at him. Ralph was full of fright and apprehension and pride. I hit him. The spear stuck in. So he's really experiencing this. There he says again on the next page, I hit him. I hit him with my spear. I wounded him. And now what they're doing is the boys are reenacting what happened. They are going to gather into a circle. And it says Ralph entered into the play and everybody laughed. Presently, and Robert is pretending he's a pig. So presently they were all jabbing Robert, who made mock rushes. So anytime that you imitate something, you're trying to regain the same emotion and energy you experienced during it. So the excitement of the hunt, and anyone who's gone hunting knows there is an adrenaline rush. You feel powerful. The excitement, you don't know what's going to happen. Well, they want to recapture that. And that's why I want you to see this is not just about having something to eat. This is about the emotion of it. And what you really need to start connecting is that this is the world of the id, this excitement, this passion. And Ralph is experiencing this for the first time. Who has he been with? He's been with Piggy, the super ego. Everything is orderly and we do it all this way and take everybody's name and hold the conch and all this. Well, in the world of the id, when you're hunting, it's passion, it's excitement, it's creativity, all of that. So they're recreating this with Robert. And Jack says, make a ring, everybody. And Robert squeals in mock terror and then in real pain because they're starting to get a little too physical, right? And I have it underlined here. Ralph was carried away by a sudden thick excitement. And he grabs Eric's spear and he jabbed it at Robert with it. Kill him, kill him. Remember, this is supposed to be play. Jack had him by the hair and was brandishing his knife. The chant rose ritually as at last moment of a dance or a hunt. Kill the pig, cut his throat. Kill the pig, bash him in. Ralph, too, was fighting to get near to get a handful of that brown, vulnerable flesh. The desire to squeeze and hurt was overmastering. And that's what the id is about. This is the world that Jack is talking about. This is the world that Jack really is about. Remember, this is not a pig. This is I put Robert. Yeah, Robert, but it's excitement. Okay. Oh, he gets hurt a little bit. And Maurice suggests, hey, next time we should have a drum, then we can do it properly. Isn't this sounding a bit like natives or a bit like, they're not civilized people at all? Well, you want a fire, I think, at a drum, and you want to keep time with the drum. And Jack says someone could dress up as a pig. So this is like becoming ritualistic and very ominous. Jack says at the end, next time we could use a little one. And everybody laughed. So that should hit you in a way like, whoa, this is, they're going to be hunting little kids at some point, possibly. And Ralph experiences the id for the first time. Okay, they make their way back. They're going to go up the mountain. All this part you can read. Jack is going to challenge Ralph a bit, and he is very jealous of Ralph's attention toward Piggy. So at one point, Jack clears his throat and sneers with a tight voice. We mustn't let anything happen to Piggy, must we? So the id is always very jealous when the ego chooses the superego. And if you've been keeping up the last few weeks, that makes perfect sense to you. The id in our lives, who we are, how often is your id turned down during the day? Quite a bit. Like, oh, I would love to go hit that person for what he just said. And your ego says, no, you can't do that. We have to do the moral thing. Would you like it if somebody hit you? Or what will God think if you hit somebody? And listening to the superego. And after a while, the id gets very upset at that. And like, oh yeah, you're always siding with your superego, aren't you? And that's beginning to happen here, foreshadowing. Simon volunteers to go through the forest alone and tell Piggy they're going to be delayed. Totally comfortable in the forest. So Ralph says something very interesting to Jack. Why do you hate me? The boy stirred uneasily as though something indecent had been said, and the silence lengthened. So, it's a bit out that there's tension. Jack is challenging Ralph's leadership. And so Jack's like, we should still climb the mountain even though it's nighttime to look for the beast. So he challenges him. And so they go up the mountain. They go up with Roger, actually. If there's no beast, and almost certainly there was no beast, and in that case, well and good, but there was something waiting on top of the mountain. What was the use of 3 of them, handicapped by the darkness and carrying only sticks? We're being fools, says Ralph. Okay, so they decide to go up there. Jack is aware of something that's there, slithering. I saw something on top. I saw a thing bulge on the mountain. There's a popping sound. They creep forward. A creature that bulged over there where there was a gap in the rock, a sort of hump. See? Not scared so much as paralyzed. Okay, so they look over. They could hear a tiny chattering noise somewhere. Ralph says perhaps it was his own mouth. And behind the silver moon and drawn clear of the horizon, before them, something like a great ape was sitting asleep with its head between its knees. And then the wind roared in the forest. There was confusion in the darkness. And the creature lifted its head, holding toward them the ruin of a face, and they all beat it out of there. 3 abandoned sticks are left behind, and they go. So now they definitely cannot go on top of the mountain because there is a beast. You know what it is. They don't, but they are afraid to go back. And it looks as though they are going to be stuck down there. Okay, that is the end of the video.